In this video, we will be talking about user security setup and file security settings. This is under user customization, security, and security setup and file security settings. These settings are used to set default security configurations in ECOUNT. Let us look at it one by one. First is print and download restriction. By clicking on it, you can set it to default to allow or block print and download functions at ECOUNT. It means that you can restrict the printing, PDF conversion, Excel conversion, and file download. By setting it to block, you can also set exception conditions so that other IDs can download it or print it and etc. However, master IDs are unaffected by this setting. For instance, by choosing it as block, no one can print or download. However, by setting it an exception condition, by deciding on the name and the condition, you can allow print and download restriction. Let us see. By setting up the condition name and entering it, and click on the condition. You can double click and choose accurate, and under target field, select ID. Under comparison target, choose the ID that you would like to allow. Press apply and apply. Once that's done, make sure to click to allow. Furthermore, you can also set up a notification setting for restriction violation. This is the same for security setup and file security settings. When the notification settings for restriction violation is set to use, you can set up the notification target and the method and the default details. So, when an ID, Amy, for instance, does not have the print authorization, as you can see that the print option now is enabled. However, if we go to an ID with John, who's possible to print, when we click print, the print button works. And as you can see, the notification also pops up. Furthermore, you can set a restriction for sending as well. By setting it to block, you're limiting IDs from sending it in email. So by clicking on the exception condition settings, you can set up a condition name and a condition. You can also choose a combination code value where when you are supposed to set it up by each ID, you can set it up by clicking the magnifying glass and clicking on the user task details. By clicking new, you can set up which ID and the type of task it can do. So, if you set it so that John is under block and Sam as block, so you can defer it per ID, and 108 ID as allow. As you can see, by going back to John's ID, and when I press email, and after that, when I click send, since John's ID is blocked, the sending is not possible. Lastly, you can set up an upload limit. By clicking on the upload limit, you can set it so that when others upload, it stacks the history, or you can simply allow or block. By having an allow and add history enabled, you can head on over to User Customization, Security, and File History. Here, you are able to see the stacked data. As you can see, when I upload the file like so, and heading back on over to Security and File History, we can see that the file attempt has been recorded. Furthermore, when setting up conditions, you don't necessarily have to choose code type. You can choose date and date time or IP conditions as well. So this video concludes the guide on how to set up a file security setting and security setup.